Hey guys! Welcome to my first VeggieTales video. These are going to be videos about my experience as a vegan, and I hope that this helps you guys and you find this interesting whether you're a vegan or you're a vegetarian, if you're thinking about becoming a vegan or vegetarian, or if you are a carnivore and love meat and just like to hear about other people's diets. So anyway, I'm just going to make this video as a sort of introduction to veganism and why I became a vegan, and leave this as a jumping off point for discussion in the comments below, and for you guys to leave any kind of requests, questions you may have that I can either answer in the comments or I can make videos about to sort of continue our exploration of veganism together. So I'm kind of excited about this series, as you can probably tell, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So first things first, what is veganism and what's a vegan? So simply put, a vegan diet is a diet in which you avoid any animal products or animal byproducts. So that means no meat, no fish, no shellfish, no eggs, no dairy, no honey and other products that animals make, nothing like that, nothing at all. Nothing made with animals or animal byproducts or made by animals. So it's a lot of stuff on the restricted list when you become a vegan. Some vegans also avoid any products that are tested on animals or any non-food stuffs that are made with animal products. So they would avoid leathers and things like that, as well as avoiding foods that are made with animal products. Now for a little bit of clarification, just in case you don't really know the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan, vegetarians don't eat any animal products, meaning meat and fish and shellfish, but they do eat animal byproducts such as eggs and dairy. So that's sort of the line. Vegetarians avoid any animal flesh, whereas vegans avoid all animal flesh, as well as animal byproducts like I just said. There are also a whole slew of different terms for different kinds of vegetarians, like pescatarians, which are supposed to be vegetarians that eat fish, so I guess basically they just don't eat the flesh of land animals. There's a lot of different names like that. Flexitarians for vegetarians that aren't always vegetarians. I don't know if that really counts. I mean, if you mostly eat a vegetarian diet but you're not always vegetarian, then I would say that you are not a vegetarian, you're an omnivore that mostly eats plants, which is probably the best kind of diet for everyone anyway, but I digress. So to get more into detail about foods that you avoid if you're a vegan, I'm just going to sort of go through them all again. To be really specific, if you want to become a vegan or you're thinking about it, or if you just want to know what we vegans avoid, then I'm just going to read you guys a list that I made earlier today. So any and all animal flesh, so no meat, no fish, no shellfish. Any and all dairy, so that means no milk, no cheese, no yogurt. Eggs and anything made with eggs, which means most desserts, muffins, cakes, things like that are off limits, which is actually really depressing. No butter and margarine, which can make life a little bit difficult when you're eating out at restaurants. No omega-3 enhanced foods, so you can find a lot of breads and things now that are omega-3 enhanced, and usually that means they've used fish oil, which you can't eat if you're a vegan. No honey. I actually really miss honey, and honey is made by bees, and so a lot of vegans say, while obviously you're not eating the bees, you're using bee slave labor to make honey, basically, to really simplify it. And so therefore honey is another thing on that list of no-goes when you become a vegan. And there's a whole lot of other ingredients that aren't allowed, things like gelatin and whey, and those kinds of ingredients are hiding in almost every pre-packaged processed food out there. So if you do want to become a vegan and you're committed to really eating clean vegan food, then you really have to start being comfortable reading the ingredients on just about anything. If it has an ingredient list, you have to read it, because so many random products that you wouldn't expect have animal products in them. And unfortunately, that's just what our world is like now. Even if you're becoming a vegetarian, it's the same thing. Things like gelatin are actually made with, for example, horse hooves. So if you're a vegetarian, you really shouldn't be eating gelatin. So that includes, you know, squishy candy and things like that. There's a lot of things that people don't really think about that fall under the no-eat category if you become a vegetarian or a vegan. So the last thing I want to cover in this video is why I became a vegan. Now I know there are a huge number of reasons why someone may want to become a vegan. I think a lot of people make that choice for moral reasons, whether they don't feel comfortable eating animals or whatever the case may be. I think a lot of people also make that choice from a health standpoint. They want to become healthier, they want to lose weight, whatever it is, they feel like eating a vegan diet will help them get there. For me personally, it's kind of a long-winded answer, but the whole truth about me is I've been a vegetarian for about a year, and I became a vegetarian for the same reason that I have now become a vegan, which is for moral reasons, but not to the extent that I don't think humans are meant to eat animals. That's an argument that I get a lot. I get a lot of people telling me, well, humans are supposed to eat animals, and we evolved eating animals, and that's what we're supposed to do. And I agree wholeheartedly. I totally understand if you feel that way. If you don't feel comfortable eating animals, or you don't think that humans should, that is completely up to you to feel that way. That is your opinion, and it's just as valid as mine. But my opinion is that I agree, that I believe that humans did evolve eating animals, and one of the reasons why we've become such a huge force on Earth as one of the most developed species is because of the amount of protein we gained in going from eating as herbivores when we were apes to starting to eat a more carnivorous diet. I completely agree and believe in that. And it's not a morality thing of me feeling uncomfortable eating animals. I don't feel guilty at the idea of eating an animal. It doesn't bother me. What does bother me is the idea that the animal I'm eating had a horrible life. With factory farming the way it is today, it makes me feel very uncomfortable knowing the kinds of horrors that these animals are put through just for me to be able to eat them. And while I have no issue with an animal living a regular life on a farm and being killed for me to eat it, I feel very strongly against animals being treated wrongly and inhumanely so that I can enjoy them. I just think that that's wrong. And again, I totally understand if you don't feel that way. Do not think that I'm trying to make you a vegan if you're not interested. If you love meat, good for you. I love meat too. I really miss it, to be honest. But just for me personally, I don't feel comfortable eating it knowing the way that those animals have been treated, and that's the reason why I became a vegan. So I'm not going to get super into detail about factory farming in this video. I can definitely make a video about factory farming if you guys would like, but I'm definitely not an expert on factory farming. Everything I know about factory farming I've read in books, I've seen documentaries, I've read in studies and newspapers from all kinds of different sources. I have not visited factory farms on my own. I do not have first-hand experience in the farming industry, although my grandparents are farmers. But yes, I'm not a factory farming expert. So if you do want to hear me talk about factory farming, I can definitely do a video like that for you guys, but I'm not going to do that here. Also, I expect that a lot of you know a lot about factory farming already. I think it's a pretty well-publicized issue. As well, I really don't want to fill this video with information that seems like I'm trying to convert you guys or really putting forth my opinion. You know, I just wanted to make a video explaining why I did become a vegan, but I definitely don't want to seem pushy or seem like I'm telling you that you should, because it is such an individual choice to make. And there are many people who should not become vegans for various reasons. There are a lot of health reasons why you probably should not be a vegan, especially if you're pregnant or if you have a medical condition or something like that. Definitely talk to your doctor if you're thinking about making this kind of dietary change, because it is a huge change to go from eating meat and dairy and all of those products to not eating them at all. And there's a lot of things to consider as far as getting all of your nutrients and all of your health in there that you wouldn't really think about until you sort of jump in and realize that there's a lot of different parts to your diet that you really have to pay more attention to if you are eating a vegan diet. And again, if you guys want me to make a video talking about all of the things you have to think about when becoming a vegan and all the nutrients you need to make sure you have, things that you might need to supplement, things like that, I can totally make a video like that as well. Leave comments below if you're interested. But to jump back to factory farming for a second, because I kind of stopped talking about it abruptly. If you guys want more information on factory farming, I would recommend looking into books and documentaries about it. Those are where I found the most interesting information. I would try books like Eating Animals. I would try watching documentaries like Food Inc. There's a lot of resources out there. If you want to look at the PETA website, PETA, if you simply search factory farming, you'll come up with a whole slew of websites. that have a lot of information that can be quite overwhelming. And just as a warning, if you are going to do research into this and you don't know a lot about factory farming already, it is quite disturbing. And I know I personally definitely went through emotional roller coasters doing the kind of research I did into factory farming, and I definitely had moments where I broke down and was quite emotional reading this stuff. And it is quite hard to read and to accept that these things are happening and sort of being encouraged. So if you find that stuff hard to read, then I would advise you to maybe be careful and maybe only read a little bit at a time and not sort of throw yourself into it, because it is quite heavy stuff. But I do think it's worth it for you to educate yourself on this if you don't already know a lot about factory farming, whether or not you want to ever become a vegan or a vegetarian. I think it's good for everyone to be educated on what really is happening in farming, because while I think that it is becoming more publicized and it is becoming more common knowledge, there's still a lot of stuff that isn't out in the open. Anyway, that is sort of my introductory kind of short video about why I am vegan and what a vegan is. And I would love to make a lot of videos on this topic. I'd love to give you guys videos on recipes and meal planning, nutrition, exercising on a vegan diet, all kinds of stuff. Anything you guys want, please request it. I would love to share any and all of the information I have gained over the last year of vegetarianism and now veganism with you guys. I'm quite passionate about it, actually. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Leave a comment below with any requests, any shared experiences. Let me know if you are a vegan or a vegetarian and how long you've been a vegan or a vegetarian. Let me know if you're thinking of becoming a vegan or a vegetarian. Yeah, so I'll leave links below to websites and things that I found to be a great resource, and names of documentaries and books and things that I read when I was doing my research into becoming a vegan for you guys to check out if you want. And that's about it. So I hope you guys are having a beautiful, amazing day, and I will see you really soon. Bye.